Autism Mom Live. I'm Jen Eggert of Lackey Kids Ask an Autism Parent. And you can join us live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time to learn tips, tricks, and meet other parents for support. We also have wonderful experts on our show that help you through your questions and difficult issues. On today's show, I am actually interviewing Jennifer, who is an ABA therapist, and I can't wait to discuss all things ABA with her today. But first, a quick message from Lackey Kid. This week we have on a deal the Marble Maze. You all know, if you watch the show a lot, I love the Marble Maze. It's small, compact, it can travel, it's soft, and it's quiet. There's no noise whatsoever. This is right beside my mic, no noise. So this is awesome. The deal right now is you can get this for free. Just pay for the shipping. So check it out if you have a chance. I'm telling you, for just paying the shipping, this is well worth the price. So again, we're talking with Jennifer today. And when Jennifer appears, I am going to have her. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jen. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Where do I begin? All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Levin. I'm a special educator, behavior analyst. I'm a clinical director. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. And I am in awe of this life, and I'm so excited to be here.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. Let's get right into it because tonight's topic is pretty heavy. I want everyone to know the truth about ABA. There's so many misconceptions and people say, oh, don't do it. I want to show people that it is an option for some of our children.
Sounds good.
So what is ABA? I'm a brand new mom to autism. What is ABA?
All right. In simplest way possible, ABA is a way to teach a child, or actually not a child, but in my experience, I've been working with early intervention. So I will be only speaking from my experience, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So ABA is a scientific study of changing behaviors, and specifically as the way it relates to early intervention, which is the field that I've been primarily exposed to. It is dealing with challenging behaviors of kids in New York. Primarily, it would be children with autism. And for instance, let's say I'm going an assessment, I'm doing an evaluation, and I find out that there are some symptoms that a child is experiencing. And if you'd like for me to go into that, I could definitely go through some of the symptoms. Okay. So some of the things a child may be having and demonstrating would be, for instance, a difficulty with communication, not being able to express themselves, not being able to relate to other people, not being able to have the eye contact that they need in order to speak with a human being or relate to anyone, a peer, a mom, anyone. Not being able to respond as you call them, and kind of literally being in their own bubble, so to speak, in their own world, and difficulty connecting with others. Those are primary. There are a lot of other symptoms, such as, for instance, a lot of repetitive behavior. Some kids go into a pattern of repetitive behaviors dealing with their hands, going like this, or others would be making circles. Other kids might be running around, screaming, vocalizing something. So each child has their own repetitive patterns that they would be developing. And some of them could have aggressive behaviors, maladaptive behaviors. And the reason they would come in early on is if the child is not able to express themselves fully in the beginning. So let's say you're a child of 2 years old, and I just did an assessment and I see some symptoms that scream to me autism, even I would not be allowed to diagnose. So at that point, I would refer to a neurologist, a psychologist, a pediatrician. And at that point, when the specialist would come in, they would give a child a diagnosis. From my experience, I've been right on ballpark with finding out what the symptoms are as early as 15 months of age, which has been really, really amazing in turning those kids around early on, because the sooner you hit them with ABA therapy, the sooner you'll see the results. ABA therapy is such a systematic way of teaching that I'll go further into it down the line, but it is an amazing way to specifically teach and treat kids with autism, and have been really, really effective in my experience.
Jennifer, we have a question.
Go ahead.
From one of our fathers. Is hitting themselves one of the behaviors that you would work on?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And what would be the age of the child?
I believe he is around 3 or 4.
Is the child verbal or nonverbal?
I believe non to limited verbal skills.
So that has been really the, unfortunately, bread and butter of what I've been in the field of as far as ABA goes. And that is why I actually got into ABA further down the line. From going from special educator, I saw such a need for this area, and I wanted to advocate for the kids early on, because I was able to see them struggling with the behaviors early on when they don't have that language to be able to express their needs and be heard and be able to not only get what they need, but also survive in this world. Like, they need to have some form of communication, whether it be through PECS, using the cards, communication exchange, pictures, or using sign language. A lot of them are at that level. And my passion has been in teaching language specifically, which is a verbal behavior of ABA. It's a specific, really targeted with language. So for that child, I would say the most important way to diminish that behavior, it would be to improve that language. I don't know if they've had...
Now, I got more information on the little boy. He is soon to be 5 and nonverbal.
Okay, has the child received ABA in the past?
I do not believe that they've received ABA. They were waiting for tonight's show to get answers to see if it would be a fit for their child.
Okay, where's the child located, state?
The child is located somewhere towards Washington.
Age of 5, right?
Me if I'm wrong. Yes, age 5. Because he's been guessing what Junior wants, and it's hard.
Do you want to text me?
He is starting sign language.
Starting sign language, I would say, is the most important. Is the child receptively able to understand sign language or picture exchange?
So, not yet.
Not yet.
Jason, my best advice, and Jennifer, I think you would agree, and they're in Washington, maybe Jason or Jennifer, you do the consultations.
Yes, I was going to just say that. So because my passion has been in verbal behavior, we were able to create a company with a speech therapist, Jelena Volansky, and the company's Talker Academy, where we do consultations. We provide online therapy. We're creating a course right now to be placed online. So meanwhile, we could offer 3 consultation.
So Jason, my suggestion is after the show, you message me or something, and we will set you up with Jennifer and possibly Jelena as well, because it is a speech and a behavior. I think.
And what I could also suggest is, if they have an insurance, I could see if there is a way for them to get their services in their state.
Okay, so Jason, please contact us after the show and we will work with you, because I see that he rips up all of his picture cards. So I think, Jason, you really need to sit down with Jennifer and look at the whys and the wheres.
Absolutely. Jason, I'll be more than happy to address your concerns. Please reach out to us at tokaroacademy@gmail.com.
Perfect. So Jason, please get back to us. Now, let's get back to our questions. Let me remember what my next question for you is. It has to do with a lot of people, especially adults with autism, tend to say that ABA has a negative tone to it. But we both know ABA has changed a lot in the last 20 years. And it is not what people say, where they say they get punished for negative behaviors. Why don't you explain how it's not punishing the child, but reinforcing with positivity?
The field has changed tremendously since inception, and where it started off as maybe a little bit in a negative connotation because people didn't even know at that point how to deal with those behaviors. And as it probably started with punishment, and that's what a normal parent would do in a situation. So it has evolved tremendously, and right now the field is extremely positive and very much oriented on dealing with any behavior and finding the right motivations through preference assessments for that specific adult, child, whoever that is, to find out what motivates the person. Before you actually start the treatment, you need to know the basics. You need to know what is the significant behavior to that individual. What behaviors are you looking to change? And you go through like a whole task analysis trying to analyze which behaviors you're able to change, and you break them down into small manageable steps, and you take one step at a time and you deal with that step before you move on to the next layer.
And you do use lots of praise, do you not?
Praise is the most significant part of ABA treatment. You constantly praise the child, and you praise the child in the most positive and specific way. So if the child is washing their hands and you would like that behavior to continue, you have to say, great job washing your hands. And if the child is accidentally looking at you because they're just learning to look and they don't know how to yet, you would say, great job looking at me or paying attention to me. So as specific as you want to get within your praise, so they're able to hear that and able to give you what you want next time as well.
So let me go through. I just want to say, Riley, mommy loves you.
I love how you say that every time.
Well, she comments on every show. She watches every show. I didn't think an 8-year-old would enjoy watching my show, but apparently they do.
Well, then, if you're saying that, I have to share my 1-second story. Today, I was so busy with everything that I wanted to share that I forgot to eat, and my kids brought me meal right before going on your podcast. So thank you, my lovely kids, and my husband for taking such good care of me and feeding me. Thank you, Ben and Jesse.
Jessica, I am so excited that you are, Jessica, I'm sorry you couldn't get ABA therapy for your child. It was Liliana. I'm excited that your 3-year-old will be starting as soon as insurance approves. It's life-changing. Jason,
I would say the negative portion from my experience, I will tell you a very dramatic short difference, so you guys will see. From my experience as an evaluator as well, when I've come in and I had to share with a parent that unfortunately your child might have some symptoms and you might have to look deeper into it, it is such a dramatic breakthrough for them. It's so hard to deal with because in their perception, they're losing the child that they had and they're gaining a whole new child. It is so traumatic. So I understand that. And that is why the sooner you guys are apply for the ABA services, the better your chances and your child will be in actually gaining them the help that they need. Because from my experience, those parents that have been able to say, you know, yes, I appreciate what you're saying, but my child is not autistic, because for whatever reason, they put their own feelings into the picture and they were afraid of being judged by their friends, by their family. And a lot of times those kids did not get the services that they required, and they've missed out on years of ABA services, years. And on another note, I've had kids who started on it too and have developed language and progressed from picture cards, sign language, to actual vocalization, expressive language, being able to share your thoughts and feelings with others, with parents, with teachers, with friends. So not only that, those that have gone even further into finding more ABA through insurance, they've gotten additional help past the early intervention, CPSC, and early on. Basically, the longer they stayed with ABA, the more progress they've developed over time.
Now, I just want to say that your partner, Jelena,
Yes.
And we'll get into what you're partnering on later, but she has suggested to anyone who wants a free consultation, please type in the group chat that you want free consultation, and one of Jennifer or Jelena will contact you. Jason, don't worry, we've got you. We will be in contact with you. And he does have funding, Jennifer. They have SSI.
Fantastic.
So, Jason, that is definitely something that we can help you kind of figure out, because SSI traditionally helps cover this type of therapy if needed. And because he has no communication and
They might use an adaptive technology as well if the child is at that age and not using any language. Definitely also want to think, if you want to join, we also offer our Tuesday classes for the month of May at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So drop in the link below if you want free consultation or free Zoom classes meanwhile, and we'll be able to extend all of that to all of you.
Jason, I suggest that you join the Zoom call. I have been part of some in the past, and a beta group that you did, and it really is beneficial. Now, I just want to jump to Melinda real quick, because I think her experience with ABA is important to explain to people. Melinda says that my son's ABA therapist has become like a family member. She's done so much for our family. Out of all the therapists my son has had, she was the one to get through to him and gain his trust and love. She has helped manage the challenges in our home with our son. And that's how it should be. Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, an ABA therapist should be very close to the child and have that special relationship. Now, I know Melinda personally, and I know she has actually fired ABA therapists because they did not mesh with her child. And do you want to explain that a little bit? Maybe, I know we didn't plan on that, but
Melinda, you did the right thing by your child, because a lot of times services are rendered and not always do personalities actually match, and there has to be the right match between the personalities in order to have that collaboration. Because if the child early on feels pushed to something that they're not comfortable with, they're not going to give you the best progress. But if the child is kind of given a chance to be accepted as they are and be fully given opportunity to shine with whatever knowledge that they have, because when they come in, they have something. So I always start with where the child is at, and I take them to the next level one layer at a time, and they do progress. And not only that, they fall in love with you because they feel like you understand them finally.
And they have that level of trust, and they build that relationship that they are like family. They're like an auntie or an uncle.
Clients who I'm spending 4 hours at a time with. Of course I'm part of family. Not only I've taken one child, I've helped the others as well. So like, you are able to do so much more when you are put in a position of, you know, an advocate for that family. You're able to take them to the next level.
Now, Angela says we can't get ABA in our area. I have been trying to get training and no one knows where to send me.
Angela,
She is in Arizona.
Arizona. You're looking for training in ABA?
Yeah, Angela is a mother of 8. Most are special needs and adopted. She has taken in a lot of children with autism and autism-like traits. Some of them are young and they're still figuring it out. But she doesn't quite know. Angela, I'm going to suggest the same thing. Type in the
email address. Please take my email address and give her talkaroacademy@gmail.com and I will give her a consultation.
She's a friend of mine, so I'll set you guys up together later.
Fantastic.
Jill, we see you need a consult. We will get working on that for you. Jason, I understand that COVID put a stop to getting an ABA therapist. It's really hard right now on everyone. And
where is Jason located? Because right now there's teletherapy going on.
Washington.
Okay. Is there teletherapy going on right now, like in New York?
Jason, do you have access to teletherapy? That's where you consult over the computer, like Jelena or Jennifer and I are sitting talking. It would be the child and the therapist and you online working through it.
Yes. By the way, the biggest component of ABA that I found is the actual key to success would be the parent. Parent is the bridge between an ABA therapist and a child.
Exactly. Now, how do you build goals in ABA?
How do you, say it again?
Build goals.
How do you build goals? Okay. Well, from the original assessment, when you meet a family and you find out what is the most significant behaviors that a family needs the child to work on. For instance, it could be a child is hitting because he's 2 years old and does not speak yet. So for that child, I would work on functional communication and teach that child how to demand for what they want, which would be basic things to request for anything that they want. It would be a manding goal. It would be a labeling to point to something and to label it if they have language. If they don't have language, depends on where the child is at. I would meet them where they're at, and I would build the programs in a very systematic manner, depending on the results of that assessment, because every child is super different. You cannot put like one hat on and say every child is similar, let's build the same kind of goals for them. It doesn't work. Every child is an independent human being, and they have very, very specific goals that work for them. So for instance, for that child, it would be important to find out what would be a preferred item that they could go to, like a reinforcement, and I would build that into my goals. I would build that into what they're gonna have to work for in order to change that behavior. So for instance, the child with hitting, I would say the child is going to decrease the hitting behavior because he will increase the language skills. And I would focus on giving them what they need. And by giving them what they need, they will ultimately decrease the maladaptive behaviors. It has happened with practice. I've seen it. I've had kids who actually have, I know I never say cure diagnosis, there's no such thing, but I've had kids lose their diagnosis with ABA therapy, if that makes sense.
Yes, we've actually lost our diagnosis in a educational setting right now because she's so advanced. I mean, you and I have spoken a lot about my own experience. I'm going to get to the last question, and then we're going to go to the chat because there's a lot going on in the chat. Okay. Now, my next question is, how do you reinforce those goals? I mean, we just started talking about it.
Reinforce those goals. So first, you create the goals that are data-driven based on the analysis of the child. When you do meet them, you interview the family, you find out things about the child, what their likes and dislikes. and you create the reinforcements, the potential rewards that the child will be gravitated to and motivated by. So if the child is interested in edibles, for instance, little ones usually go for that right away. So I would discuss with the parent first. I would say, is it okay that we start with edibles? And mom says, yeah, I'm all into healthy stuff. So I'm like, okay, great, let's go with blueberries. Does that work? Strawberries, what does your child like? Let's start there. For another parent, it could be, oh, my child is only into lollipops and only likes goldfish, whatever that is. You work with the family with what they have and with what the child loves. Because if the child is motivated, they will work for that. I've seen a child say things to me that they've never said to the family. And I'm like, okay, so it happens. Let's just show it to them how to do that.
And I know with Riley, when she was younger, we didn't do ABA, but we did behavioral therapy. And it was screeching. And we used stickers. And some days, her entire face was covered in little tiny stickers because it made her happy.
That's right.
And then when we potty trained, we used the same type of reinforcement and behavior. And she got these stickers. A little sticker when you try and a big sticker when you are successful.
For sure. And it also, some kids respond to edibles and others do not. So the others could respond to very sensory kind of toys, which you guys also provide, right? So
just like our marble maze. I mean, a minute with the marble maze is a reward for a lot of kids.
Agreed. A lot of them likes anything to squish and hold and mesh between their hands. It could be like a squishy. It could be those sticky things, depending on the child's preferences, right? Or it also could be a sensory bottle that they like to watch and see how the light reflects, the water, different colors. So every child is so unique and different. You really have to get to know the child and do the preference assessment before you start working with them. You actually have to build this amazing report where they want to see you and they want to work for you. So that takes time. But possible, very possible.
Now we're going to jump back to the questions because that was all of my questions for you.
Okay.
Let's get through this. It's hard for some families that can't get certain services because of where they live or if insurance doesn't cover it. I agree. It is hard. I mean, where we live, we can't get occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy unless we were to travel an hour away. Yes,
guys.
As a therapist, Jennifer, I can see your heart breaking because I know.
Guys, my heart is breaking by hearing that. And that is the reason why we created an online program. Because there is no other way right now to reach. We've actually initially started as a center. But because of COVID-19 hit, we had to right away rethink. What do we do? How do we help all these people? So this is what we're trying to do, actually.
Jessica, knowing your situation, I would like you to put free consult down, please, because I really think that Talkaroo would work for your child.
Talkaroo will work for you.
We'll talk about what Talkaroo is in a few minutes, because it's actually something I'm really excited about in the way it works. Last week, Nazia, sorry, honey, I know I butcher your name every time. Last week, I just spoke to them, and now we are waiting to be put on a schedule. Excellent. I am so excited. This is a new to autism family, so I'm so excited you were able to get ABA immediately. They've only had a diagnosis for maybe 3-4 months, so this is huge for them.
Yeah.
Angela says that her special needs kids are 11 and 8 are the biggest ones with the special needs.
What is the concern about the kids from the
That's what is one of my dear friends. So we'll work that out later in a private.
Okay.
Missy Baker, please put what you are interested in specifically. If you are interested in Talkaroo, free consult. What else did Jolena?
Free classes.
We're doing Zoom classes.
We're also filling up the June if anyone's interested for the June actual classes.
Yes. Jason, I'm not sure what you said nope to, so please. Jason, we will message you later. Jason has a brand new baby in the house.
Congratulations.
So it's his turn to be daddy. So we'll deal with it. We'll help you out later, Jason, when you're not so busy with a newborn. We know that a newborn takes a lot of time and energy. And
handful.
We thank you for helping mom by stepping up. Now, Nahiza goes to a comment that you made earlier. How can they lose their diagnosis through ABA? How does that happen?
So from my experience, and I can only speak to that, I've had kids who I've started working with as early as, I would say, 18 months, as soon as they received the diagnosis. And the first thing I worked on was language. Once you get through and you start developing that language, which is a verbal behavior part of autism, you're able to develop them cognitively. They're able to understand things, they're able to follow directions. So at that point, they're able to relate to their environment a little bit better and be more productive. For those kids that I've worked with specifically, I've taken them from early intervention all the way through CPSC, 3 to 5 age group, and all the way through like pre-K and kindergarten. So they do lose the diagnosis because of all the help they've gained early on. Because the earlier you start, the less behaviors the child will be showing down the line.
Jessica, I agree. Squishy toys are a lot of fun. Riley, mommy said I love you. Don't worry, honey. Mommy loves you too. I just want to jump to Jolina's comment that you guys have 2 programs coming up for the month of June that children can enroll in.
Do it yourself.
Yep.
And do it for you.
Program?
Yes, do it yourself program and do it for you. And we're also working on, we're working on so many different things, components. We're working on the online program where the parents going to be able to do things on their own. But right now we're bringing them on the Zoom classes where we're actually teaching them hands-on skills, where they're able to ask questions and get their questions answered right on the spot.
Angela King, this is a resource that you could use because it is all online.
Especially for early talkers.
Yes. So if you are interested in the programs for June, please comment interested to find out about Talkaroo programs so that we can flag you guys and get you, Jennifer and Jolina's help. And Jolina said even her own nephew lost his diagnosis after ABA.
I've had 6 kids lose it. Not that I'm preaching that there is going to be such thing. I'm just saying from experience.
And that's also over many years and
over 20 years in the field.
Yes. So it's not they're going to get ABA and there's magically cured.
It is not a magic. It is a tool that a parent, once they learn to use the right way, they're able to help the child on their daily basis.
Now, our own Jason, son graduated from ABA therapy last year. However, we noticed some behavior issues coming back since the COVID situation. Do you have any suggestions for Jason?
Yes. Unfortunately, COVID has thrown a lot of people off track, but it also did something really positive. It brought families closer together. And I would suggest to use social stories with kids and explain to them literally as much as they're able to handle, using pictures, explaining the part about washing hands, how important that is, and explaining how things that they touch could potentially be harmful, which is why we wash our hands before a meal and so forth. I would also, for the families that are dealing with little ones, I would also suggest, and for older ones as well, using like a visual schedule where the child knows their routine, because right now, all of us have been thrown out of our routine. I'm working nonstop. So My point
Trust
is,
me, I get it.
right? Exactly. So having that schedule will at least let the child know what's coming, what's next, how to transition between the activities, and will hopefully be a guide to the parent also, so they feel like, okay, I know what's coming. So now we're gonna have breakfast, then you're gonna have your teletherapy online, then you're gonna have your, maybe arts and crafts project if you're able to do, or whatever else a child is interested in. It has to be something that the child is able to do and is interested in. Get involved. Take few minutes out of your busy day, and we know how difficult it is to work with kids when they're little at home. Take time, be present with them. The more you give to them now, the better it will be for the long run. Maybe this is your time to just take that time and be with your child, be more present.
I agree. I want to get up. I missed a couple of questions. Um, Kenyelle asks, what is the difference between ABA and going to occupational or physical or speech therapies? Her daughter has been diagnosed for about a month now, so they're very new and not sure where to go.
Okay, and where is she located?
I'm not sure. This is a new parent to me.
New parent.
So
Okay.
Kenyelle,
What's it?
sorry,
Kenyelle?
Kenyelle, can
Kenyelle.
you please give us more information? Well, no, we're running out of time. So, Kenyelle, can
Okay.
you please put free consult so that we get you the help in?
Yes. And I would also just say that physical therapist is primarily dealing with global motor skills, full body, hands, feet, they're doing all the motor activities, all the physical activities. Occupational therapist is primarily dealing with child's sensory and fine motor skills, pincer grasp, pointing, threading, anything that a child needs to do adaptively, learning to tie their shoe, eating, things like that, daily things. They're working on living skills, everyday, living skills. And speech language pathologists are primarily working on vocalizations and oral motor skills. And ABA is actually working on all of those behaviors, because in between, there are kids who don't eat well, and ABA focuses on feeding. I have feeding therapies for the kids that I work with as well. We do potty training. So there's so many things that an ABA therapist can do, because they're in the house for a longer duration of time.
Mhm.
And they're there for, they have a lot more skills in different areas. So working together in collaboration with PT, with OT, with speech language pathologists, you make, and an ABA, you make that amazing team. You go into the sessions and you meet with, a parent should be completely constantly collaborating with that whole team, because that team is what is going to help your child ultimately. It's not one or the other. One is not better than the other. It's a team effort.
Yes. Now she did state she lives in PA.
PA. Okay. Let her find out if text us, and we'll find out if there's a way that she can receive services for her child.
Now Frankie has a wonderful question that I'm excited about. What are some questions that Frankie should ask as a new parent to a child in ABA? They start ABA tomorrow. I'm so excited for you, Frankie.
Frankie, amazing. Congratulations. So I am assuming you've had the assessment, you're starting the services, you're doing the services online. The biggest thing that you should focus right now on, because it's through teletherapy, it's online. One important question: how do I set up my environment? What do I need to do to prepare my child for your session? Where do I need to sit the child? Because I suggest, if the child is a runner, I ask for high chair. They are the best. They eliminate so many problems. The next thing I asked for is prepare the materials at your home to match either mine that I'm working with, or I send them something on emails. So ask, is there anything that you need me to prepare as far as materials, any toys, any books, any puzzles that you want me to have on hand? And third, very important one, once the child does anything right for you, and hopefully something, even paying attention to the screen, I would say, bravo, congratulations, that's effort enough. What would be the reinforcement that you would want me to help deliver my child on my side so I could collaborate with you on your side? And we could actually make it a positive effort and let the child enjoy the process. I often suggest music. They love music. It brings them to life. They want to try to copy or imitate using their, fingers and body language. Hi, Riley.
Sorry, Riley's trying to come in to see.
That's okay. Hi, Riley. Okay.
Sorry, guys. She's a little excited.
Mwah. I'm so glad. So I would say find out how to set up the environment physically, where to place the child, and how to place the screen. Hi, Riley. Hi, baby. The second thing I would say is to what can I prepare as far as materials? The third question would be, how can I support the child, and what rewards can I give my child when they're doing something right? How do I reinforce them? So those would be my 3 most important questions for you to ask the ABA therapist, and hopefully they'll be able to let you know.
Now, Liz asks, I have my boy with autism and he is 6 years old, and with this COVID-19, he has more tantrums. Is there anything I can do?
How old is the child? 6, you said?
6. I think mainly it's the schedule and the reinforcement of...
I have a feeling it's the loss of control for a lot of little ones. They don't know what's coming. Yeah, Riley, you tell them. You let them know how difficult it is for kids. Because we adults know how difficult it is for us, but we don't know how difficult it is for you guys.
Is it tough lately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But Riley wants a schedule and a routine.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. A routine, a schedule helps. And knowing for you as to what's going to be next probably will be helpful. So that's right there, schedule. Also, maybe having dinners set a certain time frame so the child knows how does that play into a picture so they're not hungry while we're still working. Having a regular bath time routine maybe would soothe them and let them feel better, that they know, okay, mommy's worked all day, but she's here for me now. Maybe reading a book together and explaining things, sharing your feelings. Even if the kids don't talk, they could tell you how they feel you could look at their face and you'll kind of know. So if they're making a face, make the same face. If they're making a happy face, just smile back at them. If they're making a frown, frown back. Mimic what they're doing. It's important to relate to them like that.
I want to say when Riley was little, she hated baths. Like, we weren't going near the water. And we reinforced bath time, and this is really funny, but her therapist recommended it. We reinforced bath time by turning off the bathroom light and throwing glow sticks in the tub.
I love it.
She got to play in the dark with glow sticks, and at the same time, I was getting her clean, so it worked for both of us.
I love it. Guys, use anything and everything. Use glow sticks, use bubbles, use music, use sparkles, use cotton balls as, snowflakes. Throw them up in the air, let them go back in the water and play with that. Play with squishies, play with anything. Make it fun for them to have that routine. They so desperately require that time with you to kind of soothe them, get them back on track. And also story time is an amazing time to share your feelings at the end of the day, discussing anything, or even starting one story and not even finishing the next day, continuing that same story. Or for little ones, using repetitive stories are amazing because it lets them know, oh, I've heard this before. It's familiar to me. I love this. Makes me feel good. I know what's coming in that story. It's amazing.
We read the same story for 6 months. And Riley, why don't you tell them the same thing we do every single day? Can you tell everyone? What do we do at bedtime before we go to sleep? What do we sing?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
And when did we start singing Twinkle, Twinkle? The day you were
born.
And we would sing it every night. And that is part of her knowing, okay, it's time, I'm to go to bed.
Yeah. How does that
Um,
make you feel, Riley?
It makes me feel calm.
Good. You're doing an amazing job, Jen.
And guys, as you can see with Corona, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, everything changes. Normally, you guys don't see Riley on the show, but there's a lot more neediness here. She needs more attention. So she's on the show tonight.
A virtual big hug from me.
Can you give a hug? Melinda, I know Melinda loves ABA, and she said that without ABA, potty training would be a nightmare. They gave her the tools and the support that she needed. And Connie, yes, we have Connie here. She does Calmwear, which is compression clothing. And that is a wonderful tool right now, especially with all the stress. I had a blood clot a number of months ago. And it just so happened that Connie sent me a vest the day before. So
You had a feeling.
And she didn't freak out. She said, Mom, there's something wrong. I see something, a bump on your port. We need to go to the hospital. But she didn't stress. She went through the hospital. She stayed up late. So yes, the loss of control and finding what helps your child bring that control, Jennifer, I think you agree is...
Control right now is probably going to be the best thing for them. So at this point, a lot of kids, from what I hear, are struggling with potty training from feeding issues have arisen more than ever before. I will tell you why. They're losing their control. This is one way for them to have that control. But it's a very unhealthy way to have that control for anyone that's listening at all. So please know that there's other ways for you to have that stability and control. All you need to do is tell Mommy, I need your time. Can you play with me? Or can you read a book to me? And you gain that control right back.
Now, I want to address Liz real quick. Liz, you are not alone. You are never alone. If you are not part of our parent support group, please join. We have a large group of parents who are supportive and who are there. Now, Riley's sitting here smiling and giggling because her feeding changes and all kinds of stuff, right? Yeah.
Jen, did you notice that Riley and I understood one another?
You guys got each other? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're tired.
No.
So, unfortunately, we have gone way over our time, but I'm so excited we were able to address all the questions. We were able to get them help. Guys, remember, if you need help, put free consult. If you forget about asking for the Zoom meetings or Talkaroo Academy, put free consult. They'll help you into, if you want into the Zoom, if you want into the Talkaroo Academy, or wherever they feel and you feel is best. Just put free consult, please. And you guys, Jennifer, will help them figure out kind of where.
We'll guide them along.
Dana, I know you're having problems. Her son stopped using the potty.
I'm telling you, I've seen so many issues rise up specifically right now. It's one way for the child to have a sense of control. So it's okay. Hang in, and Dana, do not push him at this time. This is not the time to say, this is my way or the highway. Let them have that control, but don't even focus on that. Focus on anything and everything that they're doing right. That's all.
Yes, Dana, I was just going to say, please put free consult, and I just saw you did. Now, I'm going to have Riley read one of the comments because it has to do with her. Can you read those words? Can you read that? You're not wearing your glasses.
Love when Riley is on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
So do I.
Liz has a question that actually I never thought of. Virtual therapies help as ABA in occupational speech. So does virtual right now compared to physical therapy, is virtual still efficient and helpful.
Yes. If you're going to be sitting on the other end working with the child, and you will hear ABA therapist or whoever it is, therapist, tell you, I'd like you to do this. You're going to do literally that. You're going to be the eyes, the hands, the ears for that therapist. You are basically become literally a tool that they are able to navigate to get what they want out of that child. A lot of times, a child will not do as well for you as they would for a therapist, and that's okay. Been there, done that. I know it works.
Is that someone else's case? So, just like, guys, if you're wondering how the virtual works, Riley hits herself when she gets frustrated. So, Jennifer, you and I would sit and discuss it.
Yeah.
And then you would give me advice.
At this point, I would just ask Riley.
Well, she's a big girl.
She's a verbal child. It's so much easier. I would say, I would literally ask the question.
Would you mind answering, Jennifer?
What can you do? Actually, I'd ask a few
questions.
I would say, Riley, why do you want to hit? That would be one question. Do you hit somebody else or yourself?
Myself.
Yourself. Okay, that tells me something about her personality. She's not trying to hurt anybody else. She's just hurting on the inside. Another is she's going through something that's difficult for her, and that she doesn't know how to approach that. So she's visually showing you that without asking for help, which means I would say we need to teach you how to ask for help when you are going through something that's emotional for you. And if you're not able to say that, maybe take a notepad, write it down. Are you able to write? Write it down.
Oh, yes.
Take a journal. Write down how you're feeling that day. And if it's upsetting to you, if you want to even rip it up, tear it up, throw it out. You will feel so much better. And not only that, it would become a way for you to share your feelings on a daily basis with yourself. It will make you stronger day by day. And you will see your own pattern of what makes you, so to speak, tick, right? You will understand what makes you kind of want to hurt yourself. Why? You love yourself. Why would you ever want to hurt yourself, right? So whatever it is that makes you feel upset on the inside, write that down. And then in the evening... Can
you show Jennifer what you do when you get upset and you don't hate yourself? How do you do it when you don't hate yourself? What do you do? How do you bring yourself back? When you say, Mom, I need to calm down and reset. You tell me I need to reset. What do you do to reset?
Take deep breaths.
Take deep breaths.
How many? 5 or 10?
Usually 5, but if it's bad, I do 10.
Usually, I just start with 10. Because usually it is just tough. But it's okay. We get through it, right?
Now, Annabelle, welcome. I know you're new here. Thank you for joining us. And Riley is 8 years old now. She was diagnosed at 18 months. And she was nonverbal for quite a few years. She picked up sign language. Oh, goodness. I posted it in group today because it came up in my memories, and it was perfect timing. What was it? 6 years ago today, she actually signed for the first time that she wanted treats.
What did you sign for? Treats.
And she signed for treats. And then when I said, you want treats for yourself, she signed dog. She wanted the treats for her puppy. So,
she's got a very big heart,
guys,
Riley.
You have to start somewhere. So everyone, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Jennifer, why don't you tell us a little bit about Talkaroo real quick and what you guys are doing.
Sure, thank you. Talkaroo has been developed out of passion and love for kids who need language and to empower the parents primarily. So this way they feel empowered and they know how to go about their everyday life in terms of, how do you deal with a child who's tantruming? What do you do? So language is like the basics of it all. So the company is specifically working on language development for the early years. It is teaching the child very first words where the child feels empowered, the child feels capable to request their very first things that they need in life, So we've developed a system of proprietary cartoons, and we've put videos together from strategies and tools that we've collected over the years. And we keep on adding. We are adding to it each and every day. We're developing stuff. So please join us on Talkaroo Academy on Facebook.
We have included the links, guys, for all of the things that we're talking about today, all the groups, the programs. We do have the links in the comments, don't worry. And Jennifer and Jelena, do go through the comments after the show. If you are watching this on a replay, still comment if you have a question or if you want a free consult. We will go back and ensure that you get that conversation with Jennifer and Jelena as you need it. So I want to thank all of you for joining us. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today. Riley, I guess
thank you guys for having me.
I've enjoyed this, guys. This is the longest show we've ever had.
Really? No.
We have now hit the longest mark we've ever had. So obviously this was very much needed. So guys, any questions you have that didn't make sense to you tonight that we didn't address, please, free consult so that we can get you the help you need. Until then, you can join us next week when we switch back to Jelena and talk more about speech. But don't forget that Jennifer will actually be back in 2 weeks for more talk about ABA. So I want to thank all of you for joining us. Remember, you can join me every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will learn and grow together as a team. Thank you all for joining us, and until next time, remember, support, empower, and educate. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.